Hello, viewer. This is your first agricultural TV station in the nation. My name is Joshua Isha. Welcome you to another interesting episode of the program Aqua Farming. For those of you who are tuning in for the very first time, Aqua Farming is a program that talks about fish, shrimps, crocodiles, frogs, and whatsoever is in the water that is eatable. We come on this program to expatiate and explain to you how these aquatic animals are raised and how they are being transported to different parts of the country. And today on the program is going to be taking a little bit of different dive. We're going to be talking about ornamental fish farming. Ornamental fish farming talking about keeping fish as pets. There are aquariums, there are people who keep fish for pet reasons. And these are the kind of fish that are being reared in different farms. They're about creating a huge employment for the populace around the world because people are really patronizing ornamental fish, or rather aquarium fishes, in their offices, homes, and businesses. Take a look.
It will be interesting to note that aquarium fish keeping is only next to the most favored hobby, photography, in the world. The fishes can be reared in aquarium, plastic tanks, and garden ponds for the recreation and leisure. The wild capture freshwater indigenous fresh fish species contribute about 90% of the ornamental fish export from Nigeria. The Western Ghat region of India is recognized as one of the hotspots of biodiversity in the global context. In this region, 155 indigenous ornamental fish are identified, among which 117 are endemic. The ornamental fish trade from India contributed 0.24 million USD in 1991 and 2.10 million in 2008. The share of the sector for the total Indian fishery values has enhanced about 0.4% to 0.15% from 1991 to 2008. The ornamental fish industry expanded with growth rates of 6.1% and 15.5% in terms of quality and value respectively during 1991 to 2009. The ornamental fishery sector of the country registered a growth of 14.4% in value, or 12.1% in volume, and 2.1% in units value during the period of rainy ET. The Southeast Asian countries, Singapore, Hong Kong, Malaysia, USA, China, and Japan, were the major importers of ornamental fish. In terms of ethnofaunal diversity, India is considered as a mega diversity region. Asia is the home of 35,000 fishes. The Asian region provides about 60% of the marine and freshwater ornamental fishes in globe trade. The massive chunk of the trade, says 90%, is supported mainly by freshwater ornamental fishes and the rest marine fishes. However, India stands only at the 31st position in the global market of ornamental fish trade, which a share of USD million in 2016, developing technology for breeding, seed production, and culture of ornamental fishes in suitable localities is an essential requirement for the sectors. Aquarium, the receptacle for maintaining aquatic organisms, either freshwater or marine, or a facility in which a collection of aquatic organisms is displayed or studied. The earliest known aquarists were the Sumerians, who kept fishes in artificial ponds at least 4,500 years ago. The first display aquarium was opened to the public in 1853 at Regent Park in London. It was followed by aquarium in Berlin, Naples, and Paris. But Rome, the center's entrepreneur, recognized the commercial possibilities of living aquatic animals in 1856. The first display aquarium was opened at the American Museum in New York as a private enterprise. A freshwater glass aquarium contained Vaccinaria, squirrels, and goldfish from the Book of the Aquarium and Water Cabinet. A total of 45 public commercial aquariums were established throughout the world by 1928. After World War II, the growth declined and few public aquariums were established. The concept of keeping aquarium and aquarium fishes in India was introduced and popularized by the Britishers, and the initial setup were with exotic species. Nowadays, many household restaurants, offices, and public places hold aquarium made of glass and acrylic materials. Fabrication of aquarium tank. Essential factor for tank construction are the size and shape of the tank, thickness of the glass, and the volume of water and density of fish that it holds. The minimum considerable size of an aquarium is 10 by 30. The water volume required by an individual fish should be kept in mind when we design the size of an aquarium or small pool for keeping the ornamental fishes. The two common aquarium sizes are 45 by 25 centimeter and 60 by 30. And aquarium lamps, lighting arrangement, shape of the aquarium. In addition to the traditional rectangular aquarium, aquariums are made in different shapes such as square, triangle, rectangle, hexagonal, trapezoid, global, pyramid shape, and the likes. However, every fish species cannot be kept in all types of aquariums. Glass panels are required size are coated and cleaned 4-side panels. The best substrate of an aquarium is generally graveled, including pebbles and small stones of 3 cm and white sand. These substrates are kept as bed at the bottom to grow plants. Also, compost must be washed well before use. Aquarium lamps about 25 watts fluorescent white tube is suitable for 48 and 1812 aquarium, which will be fixed above water surface, leaving a gap of 4 to 6 inches. Light is a stimuli for plants growth. At least 10 to 12 of light period is needed. The most popular fluorescent lamp and compact fluorescent lamp gives a cool and effective illumination. Imported aquarium lamps enhance color of fishes. Lamp always fitted in the hood, so no shade falls on the viewing side, necessary to give ventilation to minimize the buildup of heat in the aquarium. The ornamental fish require optimal thermal condition to be comfortable in an aquarium without oxygen deficiency and disease ailments. Therefore, a thermometer made of transparent glass is placed inside the aquarium as fixed on the glass surface using a magnet. Tropical freshwater fishes are warm water fish. These fish cannot survive in cold water, for that temperature range should be 18 degrees centigrade depending upon the species. The heater thermostat system will help in regulating the temperature and to keep optimal conditions in an aquarium. Generally, this system is kept inside the aquarium either partially or completely submerged. Aerator for an aquarium is usually consists of a regulator power source, air tubes and small joints. Aerators are used in aquarium to increase the oxygen content and remove excess carbon dioxide. Aerator must be kept above the water level in order to prevent back sucking of water if the power supply fails. For water quality maintenance, many using chemicals, biological filters. Water passes through the filtration material like filter wool. Generally, this is the first stage of filtration process. Here filter medium is filter wool to seize particulate waste from the aquarium water and the mechanical filtration system. The waste from the aquarium water is physically trapped by the fibrous structure of filter wool, then which can be removed. Mechanical filter media must be used to replace irregular bases. Water passes through a filter bed and bacteria convert toxic ammonia to less toxic nitrates. The breakdown of the waste from the aquarium water by beneficial bacteria are oxidized. In this reaction, first production is nitrate and the second one is nitrates. Water filtered through activated carbon. This activated carbon is eliminating the dissolved waste from the aquarium water. Unfortunately, this process also neutralizes some medical treatments. There are also on the gravel and rivers flow filters recommended by the aquarium traders. This device filters the waters mechanically, chemical, and biologically. Now, let's look about nutrition and feeding of ornamental fish. For the essential nutrients are proteins, lipids, fatty amino acids, carbohydrate, starch, vitamin, mineral supplements, and water. Fish species develop a number of feeding corporations to utilize the food sources and acquire the nutrition. Feeding habits of the fish vary, such as carnivorous, herbivorous, omnivorous, and also there is enormous diversity in their feeding patterns. Some species are surface feeders, and others are column and bottom feeders. Diets for aquatic animals can only be effective if they are formulated to contain the full array of necessary nutrients at appropriate concentration relative to each other, along with appropriate factors including rapid consumption on a consistent base. Generally, the first position of the digestive system in fish is the mouth. The positioning of the mouth is critical. Most carnivorous species have a terminal mouth. Suckers and some other bottom feeders have subterminal mouth. Some species of fish have teeth. The teeth of fish are generally adapted for performing specialized functions. Predatory catfish will, for instance, have small sharp pointed teeth. The digestive process differs in different fish species, but there are elements common to many fishes, and these could serve as a basis for estimating general parameters of digestion. A well-known and widespread relationship is the dependence of oxygen consumption rate and weight and temperature. Some fishes depend on natural feed, and some thrive on formulated artificial feed. A formulated fish feed should contain macronutrients, vitamins, and trace elements to keep the fish active and in good health. To make the aquarium similar to their habits, adjust on the temperature, light, salinity, oxygen, and hardness. Filling with plants. The fish might feed the natural system and take the food in ornamental fish. A correct formulation of the diet improves the nutrient digestibility, supply the metabolic needs, and reducing the maintenance costs, and at the same time, the water pollution. Flavor and taste, sound, smell, color, buoyancy of food are the primary factors. Now, let's look about the characteristics of fish feed. Flavor, taste, sound, smell, colors, and buoyancy of food are the primary factors influencing the feed of ornamental fishes. Flavor and taste, smell can be detected by the specific autonomical receptors in fish, but the flavor has to be dissolved in water for the fish to locate it. Some fish have receptors in their mouth or on the head or lips. Some even have taste receptors on their skin. These respirators message to the brain and tell the fish to swim towards the food. Fish are governed by olfactory senses and taste buds. The food should be available with a pleasant flavor and good taste for fish. Sounds. Fish are routine in their feeding activity that they start grouping when they hear sounds that usually precede feeding. Smell in nature fish needs to be able to identify their food and also their mates through the sense of smell. So many fish species have nostrils that help them to identify the various things they come across. These sensors thus help the fishes to find their food. Color and buoyancy of food. Fish meal has a yellow-brown rosette of white or dusty color, and few are white. Fish meal has slight differences in appearances and smells according to its type. The moisture should be within 10% to ensure its storage and use safely. The buoyancy of fish meal depends on the fish in the aquarium. Bottom feeder and most tropical fish prefer to take the food when it sinks to the bottom. Now, let's look at nutritional requirements of ornamental fish. Ornamental fish have the same nutritional requirements and food fix except for the fact that the growth of ornamental fish is not much focused. Prepared of complete artificial diet supply, all the ingredients of the protein, fat, carbohydrate, vitamins, minerals, and trace elements necessary for optimal growth. Reproduction and health of the fish. The fish generally prefers composite diets, those containing all the required proteins, lipids, other materials such as trace elements, vitamin minerals, supplementary and complements. The nutritional value of a dietary ingredient is in part dependent on its ability to supply energy. Physiological fuel values are used to calculate and balance available energy values in prepared diets. They typically average 4 by 4 and 9 for protein, carbohydrates, and lipids, respectively. The efficiency of nutrients used by ornamental fish can contribute to the formulation of appropriate diets as well as helping to decrease the elimination of nitrogen and phosphorus in etc., thereby favoring the maintenance of the water quality and reducing environmental pollution caused by affluents. Protein requirements for ornamental fish species vary with feeding behavior, and they can be supplied through varied sources as described below. Now, let's talk about use of natural food for pigmentation in fishes. When hobbyist customers observe an ornamental fish, the first and foremost criteria is considered would be the pattern of pigmentation along the surface. The ornamental fish industry also hovers to keep the natural color of the fish in the captive conditions. The skin color in the ornamental fish regularly by the presence of carotenoids. The carotenoids are supplied through feed to improve the color and make value of the aquarium fishes. The common carotenoids available in fishes are tunaxanthin, lutein, and the likes. Now, let's talk about ornamental fish disease and management. Disease is one of the critical limiting factors that hinder the development of ornamental fish culture. Due to disease, 50% to 100% of ornamental fish have been lost in cultural system annually. The control of this disease is complex and often is very difficult. Diagnosis of the infection and identification of factors affecting the infection are critical. The identification of life stages and life cycle strategies are also very important. Generally, the disease of aquatic animals are extremely difficult to control. Prevention is better than cure. Prevention is often related to control the environment and management of the cultural system, involving the following important aspects. Stress is the major disease-causing factor for ornamental fish, which is due to the inadequate or incorrect feeding practice. Inadequate habitat conditions and overcrowding long-term exposure to stress has a profound effect on the fish's well-being. Stress reduces the growth, reproductive ability, immune response, and alter the blood chemistry in the fish. The major symptoms showed by the diseased fish are abnormal swimming, wandering movement and dropping dorsal and anal fins, seeing isolated scratching and budding in the hard substratum, cloudy or exophthalmic eyes, discoloration and cloudy patches on the skin, loss of appetite, and excessive mucus. The fish diseases are broadly classified into communicable disease caused by microbes and parasites, non-communicable disease caused by environmental, nutrition, and genetic factors, and certain conditions and unknown causes, and neoplastic disease, tumors, and cancers. Generally, microbial disease are symptomatic, and if identified properly, it can be controlled using antibiotics in parasitic disease. Specific symptoms may not be there and very difficult to control. The Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria (ARCN) coordinates the activities of research institutes and is responsible for supervision, regulation, coordination of research activities and programs of higher institutions in Nigeria. And Professor Hamidu Shaributu, since assumption as Executive Secretary of ARCN in April 2020, has solidified the transformation of agriculture in Nigeria through strategic and meaningful execution of research findings for improvement of the agricultural sector.
students and the other youths and women within the community. And this, in the aspect of training, we have two aspects of the fisheries and aquaculture. The fisheries aspect is the way to catch a fish, like a processing aspect, the catching aspect, and then when we come to the aquaculture aspect, is the breeding and then the production unit. In every aspect of agriculture sector, you need to have a seed. So the college here, our mandate is to train how to produce a fish seed, that is the fingerlings. And also not only the fingerling production also, we also aid in producing manpower from different aspects of the community, different communities. Fishery School Baga is a very long it's established in 1978, of which for me, let me use of opportunity to say that I am also part and parcel of this college because I graduated from this college, and that college, the college is more or less of entrepreneurship of the college, where when a student leaves the college, at least can stand by himself. Now, as we are talking about the federal government is now talking about food security. So once if you come out from this college, graduate from the you can able to at least maintain our training and then also stand by yourself, self-employment.
Okay, this is the one of our greenhouses, the 7th greenhouse that we have in the school. As you can see, we have cucumbers growing here. Okay, we have the crops, and the cucumbers, they are about 60 days old today, 55 to 60 days old. Okay, as you can see them, they are doing very well, So you can take a glance at some of the foliage are growing. They are still fruiting very massively. The fruits are very, very big and very, very big. As you can see, we also employ drip system of irrigation also here. Drip system of irrigation, okay, where the waters are given to the plants at intervals and regulated. Generally, usually we get the plants twice daily, morning and evening. Okay, as I went due, we vary that based on the temperature that we have from time to time. Okay. As you can see them, you can see the cucumbers are doing very well. They are growing very well. We actually done some harvesting this week. We've done 2 harvestings already. So generally we do 2 harvestings a week, like Monday and Thursday. The other factor I would like us to know is the fact that the crops we are doing here, they are actually F2, like they are the second filial generation. Okay, as you can see, the fruits growing really massively. So based on the research that we have done here, we have been able to see that most of the time we buy the F1 generation from Design of Nigeria. You understand? They are this European variety, you get. And then we have seen, based on research, that the fruits can actually be harvested and harnessed in the production of further seeds. This is one of the milestone achievements we've been able to achieve in Fecolat. We have been able to see that instead of wasting a lot of money, using a lot of money to buy F1 from Europe, understand, to plant in the greenhouse, we can also make use of the F2, like the product of the F1, to produce further croppings.
Dear colleagues, scientists, partners, policymakers, it is a great pleasure for me to showcase some of the achievements the James has achieved over the years. Much information passed around, but I'm particularly pleased to talk about this new variety which we are about to release. This is Pollock 100, a variety that has great potentials in terms of higher yield, ranging from 5 to 6 tons, tolerance to drought, resistance to some pests and diseases, then early maturity, and above all, it has very impressive end user qualities that are being cherished by those who process products derived from this particular variety. We have, in addition to that, we also have other varieties, breads of bread wheats and durum wheats, which we are planning to release very soon. We are working hard to see that these varieties are released, and then the seeds are made available for wider distribution too.
ARCN
promoting agriculture.
Many thanks for staying with us on your first agricultural TV station in the nation, the Agricultural Research Council of Nigerian Television. Of course, today on the program Aqua Farming, we'll look at ornamental fish farming. If you ask me, I would say this is one of the sector that is lying virgin and needs attention as soon as possible. So if I were you, you can go ahead and experiment how it works. Who knows, you might be smiling to the bank. Until some other time, my name remains Joshua Ishaya. Bye for now.